All right, what's up, guys? This is our first time posting a podcast face to face on YouTube. Painting Corners. This is our second episode of the off season. Our first one, you guys can go check it out on Instagram. We live stream most of our podcasts there. This is the first time we actually have a legit setup, doing a real episode for you guys down here. First episode down here, second episode of the off season. I'm James Torrillo, team captain, Los Angeles Dodgers, commissioner of the MLWB. Here with two-time World Series champion Tyler Wagner.
What's up, guys?
So this off season has been a little, I don't want to say boring, but a little quiet so far. I re-signed John Bond to the Dodgers through 2024. I re-signed Dylan Lawyer earlier in the year, extended him before the season ended. Joe Lemley was extended by the Marlins. Zach Porcella extended by the Nationals. Not much else going on. There's a ton of names out there that are still available. There's you, your brother, Chris Castano, Hassan Afai, Nick Volpe, and McNellis. There's a ton of names out there. Oscar Donis, just to name a few. And then, of course, Cole Pucala, Ryan Moser. Ton of names out there that haven't been re-signed. The re-sign deadline is November 1st. So huge week coming up. We'll see if any of these guys get re-signed. Tyler, Rays not re-signed yet. Does it look like it looks like you're playing for a new team in 2024? Am I correct?
Yeah. I mean, if Rays just re-signed Yeager, in order to re-sign me, they'd have to make a bunch of not a bunch, but a couple moves. And I mean, it's the re-sign deadline before the people that aren't re-signed, they go into the draft, obviously, which will be held in December. But the Rays have them. It's October 26th, so they got about 6 more days until it's time for everyone to go back into free agency. And if they haven't made a move yet, I don't think they will. And that just doesn't look like it.
Yeah. It was a wild year last year for you with the Rays. I want to keep this brief because we talked about this a lot in the last episode about the Marlins releasing you. We talked about that, your thoughts on that with Andrew and Joe, you signing with the Rays and getting to play in the World Series again. It was a weird sequence there, but unfortunately you guys came up short, but it was a cool experience to be back in the World Series for you. The first overall pick belongs to the Kansas City Rays, or beg your pardon, Kansas City Royals. Your brother hasn't been re-signed by the Royals, but if he is, would you have any interest playing in Kansas City with your brother? Because that's like the big picture we're looking at here.
I mean, it all depends if my brother's going to be there. I like Zach Kinsel a lot. He's a great dude, but I don't know. Me playing with my brother, I mean, my brother's really good, as you guys seen, the games he actually is here. He plays, he's tremendous and easily one of the best players in the league. My wiffle ball resume and everything going on, I'm one of the best players in the league. So, with him and I, which, we grew up together, we have probably more chemistry than, me and anybody else. But I mean, if he's not, the past couple of years, he hasn't been to a lot of games, rightfully so. But, it all depends. If he's gonna be here for the whole season, I'd have a lot of interest. I'd hold my jersey up at draft loud and proud. But if he's not gonna be here, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna be a fan of going first overall. I'd like to see someone else go first overall.
Yeah. And just to clarify for newer fans or guys that don't really, understand the whole process with the draft, instead of having free agency, what we do, every player that is not re-signed by the re-sign deadline, which is November 1st, is put back into the draft. They can't be signed by anybody else. They're put back into the draft with all the new rookies. So we have a bunch of guys that haven't been re-signed this offseason that would go back into the draft, along with a few rookies such as Vincent Graziano and Julian Molds, just to name a few. It would be weird to see you go first overall since you've been playing since season 1, and we're coming up on season 11 now. You haven't played in every season, but you've played in, I think, the fourth most seasons out of anybody in league history. It would be weird, to say the least. It would be the first time somebody that didn't get re-signed would go first overall instead of a rookie. And I would be surprised if you didn't. I'm going to be honest. Like, if I had to look at the big picture here and predict the team for you to be on, I would predict the Royals because of your history with your brother. He's on Kansas City, maybe. I mean, if he doesn't get re-signed, then who knows? Maybe you could go first overall to the Royals and he's not there, or somebody else goes first overall, or who knows? Maybe Zach Kinsel is not going to re-sign your brother and then take him first overall to save the free agent points. It's going to be interesting, but to say the least, you said, I know you want to play there if your brother's going to be there for all the games. It's going to be a lot of rule changes this year, which you guys should follow our Instagram. Make sure you stay updated with that because we're going to come up with a huge post soon about all the rule changes in our league. But I want to go over something else real quick. After the draft, we're going to have a ton of new guys on new teams. One of them I'm looking at is Cole Pucala. Cole Pucala and Ryan Moser, both on the Pirates with Braden McCabe in 2023. Cole Pucala spent 2 years with the Pirates, but he hasn't been re-signed. Neither is Ryan Moser. It's looking like Braden will re-sign Ryan instead of Cole and let Cole go into the draft. If that happens, where do you see Cole landing?
Well, if Braden signs Ryan, then, obviously that puts, Pirates don't have enough free agent points to put 2 players in. Ryan and Cole are both free agents, I think, as of now, right?
Cole and Ryan, yeah, they would go into the draft if neither of them are re-signed.
So one of them has to get re-signed or traded for the Pirates to make moves. And I mean, as of now, if Braden's going to do anything, I think his safest pick is to go sign Ryan up right now. And Cole Pucala, if he goes in the draft, he's going to be one of the top picks.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, he could also kind of go first overall, or he can, because we got Royals, Nationals, and Astros. So those 3 teams are going to get a really good player for them. The Royals, they have my brother, they have Kinsel. Astros, they have Charlie Jones, and then the Nationals, they already have, Cody and Zach Porcella. So each of the teams are going to, all the teams are going to get better as we go on. But for Cole, I mean, it looks like he'll land at one of those teams. It looks like it'll probably be me, Ryan, and Ryan and Cole. So if Braden resigns Ryan, then that won't be the case. But yeah, it looks like Cole will either land Kansas City, Houston, or Washington.
Yeah. In my opinion, if I had to predict where he would go, my pick would be Washington.
Yeah.
They got the 2nd overall pick. My prediction is that you go first to the Royals and Cole Pucala goes 2nd to the Nationals. I think you guys will be the 2 best guys not re-signed. I predict that Dylan Wagner will get re-signed this last week, and I predict that Ryan Moser will get re-signed by the Pirates. So that would leave you to the Royals first, and Cole Pucala will be headed to the Nationals, division rival of the Pirates, which would be interesting because it's going to be weird seeing him in a different uniform. We've seen him in the black and gold the first 2 years, so seeing him with Cody Pearson and Zach Porcella in Washington will be strange. But if this happens, are the Nationals a playoff team?
Well,
let's take a overlook of the rosters. Dodgers, me, Dylan Lawyer, John Benace. Pirates, let's say it's Braden McCabe, Ryan Moser, and whoever they draft 5th. All right. One guy we haven't talked about yet, Nick Volpe, could be in the middle of the pack. If he doesn't get re-signed, he goes back into the draft. I would see him going in the middle of the pack. I could see him being a Pirate. So let's just say we get somebody like Nick Volpe on that team. And then the Marlins is Andrew Shorey, Joe Lemley, and whoever they take fourth. And then the Nationals is Cody Pearson, Cole Pucala, which would be their biggest acquisition yet, and Zach Porcella, who's a former MVP, 2-time. So one thing I do want to go over before you answer that question, I'm actually going to make a huge announcement here, and I'm going to reveal it on the Paintin Corners podcast, so if you guys got this far, you were the first to hear about this. In 2024, we are changing the playoff bracket from 3 teams in each division to just 2 teams in each division making the postseason. So that will mean 4 out of 8 teams in the league will make the playoffs rather than 6 out of 8, because we have 4 in the NL, 4 in the AL. Now there's only 2 teams making the playoffs from each division. If you had to pick 2 teams from the National League, are the Nationals one of them? Because now it's not 3. They have to be better than 2 teams instead of 1.
Well, if I'm projected to go first, looking at the rosters, you, Lawyer, and John, you just won the World Series. You've been in the World Series for a very long time. You've been back and forth into it. So obviously, you guys would make the playoffs. I mean, it would be rightfully, it wouldn't be right if you look earlier and say the World Series champions aren't making the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And then you look at other rosters such as the Marlins with Andrew Shorey and Joe Lemley, who are, that's a good team right there. And then you look at the Pirates, which it'll be Braden McCabe and Ryan Moser, so there's life over there. So looking at Washington with Cole Pucala and Zach Porcella being, the two big guns over there, I can see it. I honestly, I wouldn't bet my money on it, but I could give the Nationals a 40% chance of making the playoffs once they get Cole. So yeah.
So you'd say, if you're saying the Dodgers are in, that means there's a 40% chance. So almost half and half. They'll be better than the Marlins and the Pirates. Now I know it's super early to look at this because we're still like 8 months away from the new season, but is it ridiculous to say that the Nationals would be better with Cole Pucala than the Pirates were with Cole Pucala?
Yeah, I mean, the Pirates, they got Braden McCabe and Ryan Moser, but, being Ryan Moser still, he didn't play a full season yet. He's a great player by all means, but he didn't play a full season yet. Porcella already has 2 MVPs under his belt. So when Cole is matched up with that, and Cole's a great player in this league, Cole matches up with that, and that just basically puts, that puts the Nationals at such a higher. So I'd say they'd fit better than the Pirates with them.
I mean, no disrespect to Cole Pucala, who won Rookie of the Year in 2022. He was the 2nd overall pick that year to the Pirates. Spent his whole career so far with them. But in his 2 years with the Pirates, they went 4-9 and 6-6. So, no disrespect to him, but it's not like the Pirates were some juggernaut both of those years. Now, they made the NLCS both years, so I'm not taking that away from them. They lost both to the Dodgers. But, I mean, it's going to be tough if they lose Cole Pucala and they re-sign Ryan Moser. Or it's the other way around, they lose one of them. Braden McCabe, Ryan Moser, and Cole Pucala together couldn't make the World Series. And they were a 3 seed last year, which means in the new playoff bracket, they wouldn't have even made the playoffs. Is it crazy to say that they don't make the playoffs now? Because their roster looks like it's going to be worse. If they lose Cole Pucala and they get whoever they get at 5, odds are that number 5 pick isn't going to be as good as Cole if Cole's going 2nd. So they lose Cole, and instead of having Ryan and Cole, he's got Ryan and somebody in the middle of the pack. I mean, I'm not just sitting here to try to hate on the Pirates, but it's going to be tough. Braden's going to have to make some moves, and he's got to re-sign somebody quick because we're recording this the night of the 26th. Tomorrow's the 27th. deadline for re-signing your teammates is November 1st. He's got about 4 or 5 days to do it. So we'll see what happens. Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, if you got to look at it this way with the Pirates. You know, they've been a good team. They've been a sneaky team, as I would say. Just always creeps themselves up there. You know, they don't look too good, but they're always there. And obviously they get there for a reason, because you know they win ball games in the big moments. But here's the thing with the 3-man roster. You lose Pukala last year. The Marlins beat the Pirates now, or the Pirates beat the Marlins, and so obviously they were sneaky. But the thing with Pittsburgh now is that this is a 1-out wiffle ball league. Every inning is 1 out. So you go ahead and, you know, obviously they're going to be in the middle towards back end of the draft. You go and you're not going to get a top player. You're not. Rightfully so. Unless Braden makes some magic moves, you're not getting a top player. So, and Braden, you know, Braden won Rookie of the Year, if I'm correct, one of the years.
He did, season 6.
But to be honest, Braden hasn't won anything much after that. And Ryan Moser looks like a great ball player. But the thing about, you know, the sport is you can't win a game from one guy. And meaning if Braden and you know, for example, we'll throw Nick Volpe out there just in case. You know, once a pitcher gets an out from one of those guys, which you know, Nick's first year was last year. Braden McCabe hasn't put up monster numbers. I don't know if we'll see a difference. I am rooting for Braden. I hope we do see a difference, but you know, they both haven't put up monster numbers. So once they get out for an inning, that's it. That means Ryan's got to step up just about every at bat.
Right.
And that's what kind of puts them below the Nationals, because now the Nationals, 2 out of their 3 hitters are prestige, good, great hitters.
Yeah.
So it makes it tougher for the pitchers to throw against Washington than now the depleting Pirates.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. It's gonna be a weird shakeup. It's gonna be a really interesting off season, and it's gonna be an interesting draft. Tyler, appreciate you.
James,
First episode down here. I think it's pretty cool. Pretty cool new setup. We should have done this at the beginning of the video. We apologize for the Sidney Crosby stuff here. It's not ours, we promise. So bad job, but just want to thank you guys for watching this. Let us know what we can do better in the next episode, and we'll catch you guys.